less oil that your scalp is going to produce. And it'll just become accustomed to producing less oil, and your hair won't be as oily. Also, when you have curly hair and you're rolling it like this, it's good to get more oil in there because it'll help condition the ends, which are getting a lot of extra work being rolled up. When you first start styling your hair with curls the first time, make sure not to do it on a day that's really important, like say your wedding or graduation or when you need to look perfect in photos. It doesn't take that long, so it might be a good idea to practice it on a day when you don't have to go out. And then you can just see if it works and there's not as much stress. Trying to do anything in a stressful situation makes it difficult all the time. So just eliminate that factor and do it on a day when you just have laundry or homework or whatever you need to do just around the house. But make sure if it turns out that you have a couple friends that you can call up, that you can go out for cocktails and show everyone your awesome hair. I've even just gone to the grocery store all dressed up so everyone can see my great hairdo on a testing day. There we go, we're almost done. The funny thing about having your hair like this is you could go out with your hair all wrapped up and people will already think that you look vintage just because you have some fun makeup on and your hair up in rollers. People don't even know that this isn't the finished hairstyle. They're just so unused to seeing it these days. So you can just put this in if you're having an at-home day, put your hair up in rollers, go out, do your errands, have a cute little handkerchief on your head, and people will think that you're a 1940s lady already. We'll go out like this on show days to keep our hair fresh, and everyone's calling it, it's Lucille Ball! So just be prepared for comments, but they're all going to be good ones. So now, once you have your hair all rolled up, find a pretty scarf to wrap your hair in. You want to create a little bit of triangle like this. Wrap this around the bottom, and then bring all 3 points up to the top. This will help when you're sleeping overnight. It'll help protect the rolls and help them from tossing around while you're sleeping. The tighter that you roll it, too, will be better. It'll keep everything in place, and it'll make it a lot more comfortable when you're sleeping like this. You can also get a satin pillowcase, which really helps and makes you feel more glamorous. Who doesn't love that? Now that your hair is all rolled up, you have a number of options. You can sleep for 8 hours or do something. 8 hours is a good time to keep them in. If you don't have that much time but you want to do this authentic hair set, what you can do is find one of those vintage hood dryers, those cute old chairs that you see in salons, or you can go to a beauty supply shop and get one of those hoods that you attach to your hair dryer, and then you can just leave that on for an hour or so, sort of test it and see how long it takes your hair to dry. It's all experimentation and seeing what works for you. And then, after your hair is dried, then you can take it out. But this is a good time to go into your makeup. So after you have set your hair in rollers, you're going to want to take your head scarf off and start to unroll them and see what magic happened on your head. So you can see here the pattern that you'll put in when you put your rollers in. You'll find your part and you'll separate it with your rat tail comb. You'll give yourself a clean part and all your rollers will be in rolling down. You don't want to roll up the other way because then you'll get more of a 70s look than a 1940s, 50s look. And try and make as uniform a pattern with the rollers as possible. You can see here that we have the wire rollers on top and then the foam rollers on the sides. This is so that when you're sleeping your rollers, it's much softer on all the parts that hit the pillow, but you can get a cleaner roll out of all of the rollers that are on top with the wire rollers. And then you want to take as much care as possible in taking the rollers out so that you don't get them tangled or stuck. So starting at the bottom, you'll roll out slowly. So if you want to make sure that your first look can just be bouncy ringlets, so the more care you take in unrolling your rollers, the better your curl is going to turn out. You can just use your fingers as you unroll the curler. And while it's much easier to have someone else do it, you will get used to, especially when your hair is longer, getting up behind you to put all these long hair into rollers. You can see already that Amy's hair is pretty much in a style just from putting it in rollers. So you can see how easy it is in the morning if you were to sleep in rollers. Contrary to popular belief, it doesn't take a lot of time to get ready to do a proper pin-up style. You just sleep overnight in rollers, you wake up, and 5 minutes after taking the rollers out, your hair is already styled. Take particular care with the wire rollers. Particularly, some of them have bristles in them, which can make them a lot easier to get stuck in your hair. So just use extra caution and care, and just relax when you take your curlers out in the morning. Congratulate yourself on a job well done of creating perfect pin-up hair. And don't worry too if you found that in your wet to dry set some of the curls didn't dry all the way. You can always just take a bobby pin and just pin them up into a little roller and hide it under the rest of your curls and wait till later in the day when that curl is dry, and then you can take it out. And if you're just setting your hair for a day at the office or a day out for fun and you don't have a style plan, this is a good time to see how your hair curls and decide what sort of style you want to do. So if you found that your hair didn't get as curly as you wanted, you might think about brushing it all out and doing just a soft wave style. Sometimes you discover really fun patterns in the front that you might, if the curl took really well as Amy's did, you could brush it into an interesting old movie star glamour wave set, or if the ends didn't curl as well as you'd liked, you might decide to do an updo or do a bunch of rolls and hide all the ends. But you can see already, Amy's hair is in a perfect vintage style, and all you did is take your rollers out. So it's the wonder of curlers. Curls make the difference in your hairdo. It's perfect. Fancy. So you could do a cute little Shirley Temple look with this, or some sort of Gone with the Wind kind of thing, a little old-timey. Or you could start brushing it out, styling it, and putting in different looks. Now that you have your hair all perfectly out of rollers and curly and bouncy, we're going to teach you the basic building block of pin-up hair, and that is a roll. We're going to create two in the front here, asymmetrical, and those are called victory rolls. This is the hairdo that won the war in the 40s. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your rat tail comb with the little rat tail on the end here, and you're going to create your front section. So you go down the part of your hair right down to the top of your ear and create a little triangular section there. And then with your brush, you're going to brush that all together. Don't worry about brushing out your curls because you've set it properly to start with. They'll stay in there through all sorts of brushing. So you get that all brushed out, and then you take your comb again, hold this section all together, sort of loosely, but firmly in a way, and go in behind here and start back combing. Now don't worry, you're not going to end up with some rocker 80s hairdo. Do not be afraid of teasing your hair. No one will tease you later because you'll look so good. So just go in there, you want to go through the whole length of the hair because you want this to stick together and be one mass of hair. And once you're confident that that's all going to stay together. Grab your hairspray. Put your head this way and spray both sides of it. And then take your smoothing brush and just lightly smooth the outside. You don't want it to look like you've done too much teasing or backcombing, but that helps to maintain the style. So what you want to do is take about 2 fingers and wrap the hair around that at the top. Make sure the ends are all tidy. And then just start rolling that down. Once you've got it firmly in place, you can just walk it down with your fingers like this until you get to the top of the hair. And if you like that, you can just pin it in place, but if you think you want to, you might have to do it a couple times to make sure you've got it, or you might decide you want to do a little extra backcombing to give it a little more shape and volume. The great thing about the backcombing is, as opposed to just pinning a curl in place, it's going to really have a lot more staying power. So it's not going to separate or come apart as your day goes on, or if it's a windy day out. Or if you're doing a lot of swing dancing, or wherever your pinup hairstyle is taking you that day, it's going to really last. So you've walked it down, and you want to sort of keep the back flat against your scalp. Now, if you wanted something a little more dramatic, you can hold it up and sort of smooth out the inside so that you can see through it and pin it on either side. But for most looks, and for every day especially, you want to just keep it flat against there and make sure that the curl at the front is nice. So then you just take 2 bobby pins and you put one in the back, just like that. And the nice thing about all that backcombing is that this hair is all sort of gripping together, so you only need to put a little bobby pin down at the bottom. You can sort of hide it. You want people to believe that your hair just stays like this naturally, kept in there by modesty and good luck. And then you put another pin at the front to anchor it. And finish it with a little bit of finishing spray. Smooth down all the little hairs that might be flying around. And there is your victory roll. So you can create another one on the other side by the same way. You want to take that comb, create a front section. Now, because Amy's hair is so long and thick, I'm going to take just a little bit less than I did for the other roll, which leaves more hair for styling in the back, but it also makes it more lightweight, so you don't need as much strength to pull that together. So the same thing. Smooth that out. Now, if your hair was really clean when you put your curls in, and it's slippery and new and healthy, you might find that it's useful to spray some more hairspray on it a couple more times to give it a little stickiness and make it a little bit more manageable. Now, a lot of girls have difficulty, the same with your cat eyes, with your makeup, getting the 2 sides to match. So a nice trick for that, once you've smoothed this the same way that you did the other side, is to take a circular bottle about the size that you want your roll to be, and you just wrap that hair around and then slide it out. This is especially good if you have bangs and you want to do a center part with 2 rolls on either side. You can create 2 identical looking rolls this way, and then you don't need to be fussing over each side. And it also, you can use any size container you want. If you want really big, bold rolls, you can get a big hairspray bottle, or you can get little small travel hairspray bottles. Any sort of tube you want, you can use to create those looks. Creating rolls is a good way, too, to showcase off whatever interesting highlights you have in your hair. As you can see, Amy's black highlights here sort of help to frame the roll. And again, just put a bobby pin on one side